TMZ released a video showing two seemingly unconscious men who were supposedly knocked out during the altercation in Pittsburgh last week that brought criminal charges against Darrelle Revis. Now, there's a voice on the video bragging about knocking the two guys out and warning that someone else could be next. Revis's lawyers say that voice is not Revis's. Does this video, Bob, in any way change anything in this situation?
Well, it certainly changes the perception that it was Revis who did the knocking out. And maybe he did, but the fact of the matter is, you know, his lawyer saying it's not his voice.
Doesn't sound like him.
Right, and it doesn't sound like him. Damian Woody, a teammate, was on ESPN saying it wasn't him. Definitely.
Brandon Marshall tweeted that out.
Yeah, so it's just basically, it confuses the situation. Look, I think the best thing to do here is to wait and sift through all the evidence, wait till we get all the evidence and see what happens. So I think it does change it. The equation is it gives Revis kind of an out here for what we've seen.
Sal?
Yeah, I'm not saying, I don't know what happened. We said this when it first broke, okay? We don't know what happened. Then you see the stories come out, and then they want to paint, among all the different ones, you know, multiple painting Revis as the guy who knocked two guys out. Right. Then you watch the video, and it's clearly not Darrelle Revis' voice. Now, I can't say with 100% certainty because I wasn't there, but we've listened to Darrelle Revis and watched him for years on this network and anywhere else. That was not his voice, nor has he ever come across that he would sound like that or be that aggressive. So if that wasn't his voice, to me, it shows that he didn't knock those two guys out, and then he wouldn't be in as much trouble as you would think he would be in if he did, in fact, knock those guys out.
The whole situation is confusing, obviously. So many details about it are confusing. We were talking about this before the show. The idea of being knocked out for 10 minutes doesn't make any sense at all. No one's unconscious for 10 minutes after taking a punch.
I felt like I've had on some occasions.
Sometimes we're unconscious for 28 minutes during the show. But, you know, you're not supposed to be knocked out cold for 10 minutes. I think it's all very
managed
confusing.
to come back from that, Andy.
We have managed to. Every night we come back from that. But look, I don't know. We've heard from a lot of people that think this is uncharacteristic, including Willie Colon on this very program a couple days ago. So, if anything, this is more muddy and confusing than it's ever been.
It was good to see you were conscious for that segment.
I'm not saying that I was. I'm just sleepwalking through this whole production.
Here's the thing. This is not a smoking gun one way or the other. This doesn't really change the dynamic at all. All we saw were two guys laying on pavement and some yuts yelling about it. It could have been anywhere. I don't know how this is applied to this at all from watching it.
It confuses the situation. It makes it seem less clear-cut than it was prior to this information coming out.
Well, the only thing that I would take at is if those two were indeed knocked out in this situation, they're not big guys. I wouldn't be going near any NFL player in a derogatory fashion. But that's who knows who these people are.
May I add that I suggested in the production meeting that we move this desk and stage a reenactment of this for some clarity, and I was shot down.
Well,
it would have been good
Andy
television.
and Sal were going to lay on the floor with Bob being the voice to yell at them.
That's why he doesn't want to do it. He's afraid.
Right. I was going to stand back to the side just going, sorry.